open it up, or do you want me to?
You go ahead.
Want me to? Okay, cool.
What do we got for notes?
I got like my phone filled with a bunch of tabs opened up.
There's a couple I want to know then.
What's
a couple I want to say too.
Also, you said last week you had some game footage you're gonna show me.
I couldn't figure this out actually.
Oh no, I'll have to help you out with that.
So I'll need my own like channel or something. So I couldn't figure that out. I could say the name of the game. You could show a video, but it's I want.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, no, I'll help you. I'll get that all set up so that it works flawlessly for you. So you literally just have to hit record.
Yeah, it's something.
Cool.
It's something. Yeah.
The just on my phone because I had some funny ones that came up and some really interesting ones. Did you have anything that you want to cover off the top?
Just with the latest and greatest news, Nintendo. You see any of the Nintendo stuff?
No, I actually have not. But yes, go ahead and tell me because I haven't seen shit.
Are you gonna watch it or?
No, you go ahead and like.
Well, the big one was Metroid Prime 4. They
showed. So that's what. Okay.
6 years after it was announced, this is the first gameplay we saw. And the interesting tidbit that people have been saying about is clearly this game doesn't look like it would run on the original Switch. So there's speculation this could be a launch title for their next console because it looks too good graphically.
There's just graphical fidelity of it is like beyond what people think it's capable of right now.
They'll probably still release a Switch version. Just look at Mortal Kombat Mortal Kombat 1 for Switch. You remember seeing those memes about how bad so yeah, there'll be a Switch version, I'm sure. And then Metroid. Yeah, but yeah, they announced that. New Mario Party.
I saw something Mario Luigi RPG thing or whatever.
Yeah, like that Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga was for Game Boy Advance, I think. It looks like it's something in that series. Going back, which I never played. But yeah, it's kind of like the RPG elements.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. Then it was mostly the Switch 2 Metroid Prime 4 speculation that I thought was interesting.
Because they never said anything like official as far as the Switch 2, like nothing.
No, they haven't announced it. Apparently it's coming by the end of 2025. It'll be announced. It may not come till 2026, but an announcement no later than next year. Late next year. Yeah. And Metroid Prime, I think, was... I don't know. I don't remember if they dated it, actually. Maybe I thought 2025. But Nintendo usually doesn't give dates too far in advance.
Yeah, man.
Their games typically are ready to go.
I know shit all when it comes to like Switch releases or anything, or how their cadence works, or how like their marketing or anything like that. I don't know what any of that shit, because I haven't like done any like modern like console buying since the Switch when I was up in Calgary, like during the pandemic and whatnot. And which actually I've been screwing around with my Switch for the last like week or so playing Hades.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've been like I think over the past, I want to say close to 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, I'm like 35 hours deep.
Wow.
Oh yeah, when I can get like, if I put my head into it, especially when it comes to like anything with any kind of sensible grind that actually has tangible power effects with each run, like I can definitely smash my head for dozens of hours if the combat is good and if the gameplay is good.
Yeah.
There are some elements to that game that piss me right the fuck off. Like you get off screen like a son of a bitch in that game. And that son of a bitch is a joystick killer. It's like, oh man, like I'm pretty
on those weak little twigs of joysticks and the Joy-Cons.
It holds up surprisingly well, because like when I get like in a flow, especially when it comes to like using controllers and shit like that, like I predominantly play a lot of games like with a controller rather than mouse and keyboard. It's always been my method, my method of choice if I can do it. But like there's been times where like I would like murder a joystick, like not out of like anger or frustration,
just wearing it down,
just wear the shit out of it. And I was going like just as hard with those little joysticks, and they hold up surprisingly well.
Of drift?
But no, I don't have drift, but I can definitely tell there's definitely a little bit of looseness to it now. After 35 hours,
that looseness.
there is definitely that looseness.
Yep.
That's very reminiscent of the same joystick looseness as the 64, as the N64.
Oh, I hated going to a friend's house and they had a loosey goosey.
Oh yeah,
no one wanted, you'd always get stuck with it. You're the guest.
And you knew that the asshole like picked it right out of the gate, especially with Mario, with Super Smash Bros.
Yes.
So
Mario Party, any of those.
Mario Party, Mario Kart, any of that shit. Like any of the Mario sports games, especially. Just
those wrestling games.
Do you know what was really particularly hard if you ended up with a shitty N64 controller? Was Mario Tennis. That was a bitch of a game. If you had like any looseness on that controller, you're screwed.
Were the movements like kind of snappy, or did you have?
It's so precise, but it was such a good game. It was like that was a tight game. My dad loved it too.
Yeah, but the Mario sports games are fun.
Oh yeah,
they're quite fun.
Most of them are pretty good, especially for N64. But for back then, they're really good.
Yeah. Also, the third-party controller that you'd get stuck with at a friend's house, the see-through, you could see the lights in it. Mad Cats. You remember Mad Cats? Yeah, getting stuck with those. They would have a turbo button, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. The even like my current, because I have our original Super Nintendo at home, right? And so I do not have the original controllers for that console. Those things were long since destroyed because that is going through a family of 6, 4 of them being kids, of course, and 3 of them being boys.
Yeah.
Those OG controllers got murdered. Like they got destroyed. So the replacements that we have are third-party knockoffs. And they hold up surprisingly well. Like I'm actually really, really surprised that they're in the same condition that they are.
Analog sticks changed things. That's when they became real bad. Third party.
Yeah, honestly, I love and hate the N64 controller. Like I have like a love-hate relationship when it comes to the N64 controller because like it was a unique design and I love the experimentation with it because like that essentially gave birth to
3D adventure games.
Your like bigger controllers, like what Xbox kind of designed ended up with, like the first one, right? Like big
the Duke,
or Gorilla one. I don't know what the hell you call it, but you need a Gorilla hands to use it. But anyways, but I thought it was like very innovative as far as like controller technology goes. I thought the N64 was good, but I thought it was a total pain in the ass, especially if you decide that you want to use the D-pad. I can't even think of any games off the top of my head where this would have been relevant, where you prefer to use the D-pad, but then you also have to use Z, so you have to reach down and hit it with your middle thumb, like or middle finger all the way. Middle thumb, what the fuck? Oh, you have to like reach all the way down with your middle finger and hope like hell that you can hit the damn thing.
So is that how you played? Because
not always.
Picture this, like, you're holding it that way.
Yeah. So
or if you're holding it the big way.
Yeah, holding it the big way.
And you stretch your thumb down to the analog.
Oh, for the joystick? Yeah, screw that noise. No,
I stretched down to the joystick.
No, I never did any of that stupid. I never did any of that stuff. Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Not a chance. It's like mostly like if you wanted to, I can't even think of any goddamn games that this would have been relevant. Maybe Tony Hawk, but joystick is always better with Tony Hawk. Where like if you just held it the big way, but you had to hit Z.
Oh, easy. I could do it. That's the only way I could play. Like the long jump with Mario, you know how you touch that, and then that's the only way I could do it. It stretched.
My younger brother, he wouldn't have been able to like do that at all. He would have been stuck doing it the traditional way. But that's kind of like most of the games. That's how you're meant to play, anyways. Yeah. But I know for actually, you know what? Mortal Kombat, you can use the D-pad to move traditionally. And it had Z. I can't remember what the Z did, but
the wrestling games were moved with the D-pad because I remember the analogs was for the specials. You'd nudge it.
N64 had the best wrestling games, dude.
Best.
Oh my god, they're so good.
I could honestly play them today. I think.
There'd be like really rough on the eyes, but as far as gameplay and like just fucking around goes.
And they have the entrances to like the wrestlers and, you know,
so good.
I mean, those wrestling games still hold up. There should be a Mario wrestling.
Warzone had like the craziest graphics as far as like,
oh, this is so realistic.
Oh man, they were so shitty. Even for the time, they're like, okay. But then once you got playing, it was so funny. It was just, we even knew back then that it looked really shitty.
Yeah.
But we knew that also that it's like, well, this is the best that we got, and it's not quite there yet. But even back then we were kind of like, yeah, it's a little shitty. But then you got playing, and the gameplay was really good.
Yeah.
So if anything, Warzone is a good example of where knowing as a kid playing it when it originally came out, even back then, my friends and I were like, this is shitty looking. But then once we got playing, we played and beat the shit out of each other for like 10, 12 hours straight.
Which one was that?
Warzone. WWF Warzone.
WWF Warzone.
Yeah.
Was that for
N64,
not PlayStation?
Oh, chances are they probably had a port, but like I only
PlayStation.
I only know of it.
Yeah.
And played it on N64.
Yeah. But did you play like WrestleMania 2000, WCW?
Oh
NWO
yeah,
Revenge?
NWO was one of my favorites. It was like the oh god. I would probably
WCW, WWF. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was really good too. I liked it. That one was all right. WrestleMania 2000 was really good. I would probably say that, like, I think just because of nostalgia purposes and how much fun I had with Warzone, I'd probably rank that as probably my favorite, even though it would not fucking hold up, but at all. But my God, I just remember just having so much fun with my friends playing that. And same with my I think my older brother and I played a little bit together, not very much. Yeah. Because either we were on the same team, but we never one-on-one to each other because we'd get into fucking fights because my brother is an asshole when it comes to gaming. He's a prick.
Just competitive?
No, he likes to think he's good at trash talking and he's just an asshole.
Kind of obnoxious.
So much. Even when we were younger, he was just an asshole about it. And he would always antagonize and shit like that. And naturally, and I try not to, and this is what I get for trying to play honorably or whatever, is not spam the same shit that works, right? And I try to avoid spamming, and I try to be as dynamic as possible. Didn't matter because as soon as my brother found a counter to whatever I was doing, and that would be it. It would be, you just fucking do, and it'd be like, fuck's sakes. It'd be like some kind of AoE ability that you just fucking like death by 1,000 cuts kind of deal, right?
Yeah, infinite combo.
Or whatever the case may be. It's like, call it a skill or whatever. I don't know. But I remember just younger, just knowing to try and be more dynamic and not so one dimensional in terms of moveset. Yeah. And now as soon as my brother found like a small, like 2-3 hit combo that just always fucking worked. Yeah. Like if I go in for something, block, and then just does it constantly, and then that's where I'm just kind of like, okay, well, and then you just like rub it in your fucking face.
Did you play Tekken 3 with him?
No, I rarely played any kind of fighting games with him.
Oh, because he would have. Eddie Gordo was like that.
I would probably say the only games that we played one-on-one would have been, and I'm just trying to think of like just growing up, Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, Killer Instinct. And I think we had a stint in Bloody Roar 2. Bloody Roar 2 specifically because I was practicing with Shenlong. No, Bloody Roar 3. I think it was 3. Yeah, I think it was 3. Yeah. I was practicing with Shenlong for fucking hours.
What did he turn into?
Tiger. Yep. And I was practicing with him for hours because I had a guide, like a Nintendo, or it was a Nintendo Power. I think it was Nintendo Power one. Anyways, but it had all the lists of all of their combos, and some of them got really fucking complicated. Shenlong was by far top 3 most complicated, right? And this one specific one was like 2.5, almost 3 lines long. It was fucking huge, and I practiced for so long to try and master it, and I finally got it down. And so when I finally got it imprinted in my head, I was just like, okay, I need to test it out.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I need a dummy. So, yo, dude, come check this out. So we like play 1 or 2 rounds and he'd be like, no, fuck this. Because especially if I pull it off, it's like, he'd just be like, no, I'm out.
So is all that time invested to learn that worth that experience to have?
It was harder to pull it off on the computer with the difficulty cranked. It was way harder to do it than it was to a person. But I needed to do it to something that wasn't a motionless dummy.
Yes. Yeah.
And the computer can be a bit of a bitch about it. So I'm like, I need something easier than very easy.
Yeah.
So, yo, dude, come here. Come try this game.
Fighting games are... Did you ever play Mortal Kombat Trilogy?
Yeah.
For PlayStation?
Trilogy, I think, was also for N64 as well, if memory serves.
It was.
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
I played...
The roster was a little smaller, but
I don't
yes.
have like vivid memories of any kind of moments of playing it, but like it was one of those games that I've like definitely rented like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Because we never like, because even though we had our N64, in terms of like the games that we actually owned was like really, really tiny. We rented all of our shit because the video store was literally 3 blocks away. You can walk there.
Games.
Yeah, right. And so like it was a little video cinema that was like 3-4 blocks away. Not even like, it's not even a 10-minute walk. Less than that.
Yeah. And
it had a little arcade in the back and had a couple of pool tables like in its future iterations when I was in like junior high and high school. But then, and that's what we did. We just rented our shit. But anyways, we had like Trilogy played. We played Mortal Kombat 4 as well.
Oh yeah, 4. That's where they...
And Deadly Alliance was really fucking good too. I love Deadly Alliance. That was an awesome one.
What Deception was good too.
Deception was
it had that puzzle like, fighter game in it.
I fucking hated that.
It was so fun.
See, and we were talking about this off camera last week where when you were asking me about anything puzzle game related or whatever, it was like, fuck puzzles. Like, I don't know, my brain sucks with puzzles. I hate puzzles. Yeah. Like, just
do you like Tetris?
Fuck no. It's boring as shit to me.
Yeah?
I get no enjoyment playing Tetris.
Huh. I guess, not everyone does.
The wife, however, she's fucking good at it. And she likes playing all of the iterations. Like, I even have Dr. Mario on my Super Nintendo, and she plays that from time to time.
I could never get into Dr. Mario. I don't even get how to play it.
It was tricky. It was like, it's just your colors and...
Is it like the red and white and...
Red, white, blue and all that kind of stuff. There's shaping the pills and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kill all the viruses. Yeah, it's like no different than many of the other Tetrises. Just there's more... Just your movesets are different. That's all.
Mario putting their spin on everything. It's gold most of the time. Gold. Nintendo makes good games and they're never buggy when they come out.
Or rarely.
They're rarely delayed. They come out and they work. So that's one thing to be said about Nintendo. And they do DLC right. It's like the Erd Tree coming out.
Oh yeah.
You know, DLC done right.
Elden Ring and its fan base is something else, man. It's like Helldivers fan base is one thing, but man, Elden Ring fan base, like the people that play those games and love Square Enix, like those guys, it has been comical as fuck seeing stuff come out. It's hilarious. Let me read you something. This is so funny. I'm so glad you brought up Elden Ring because this is so good. Let me see if I can quickly find
I do want to get into it. I'd love to get into it, but I know I
will.
Wouldn't like it.
Eventually, someday, somehow I will.
I played through all of Bloodborne.
Here it is. So, throw a little thing over my head here, but this article, gaming journalists, whatever.
Yeah.
You're on Eurogamer, gave Elden Ring DLC a 3 out of 5 because it's too damn hard.
Well, yeah, and only 38% of players have beat the 2 required bosses to even play the DLC.
Holy shit.
That's commitment to the art and the craft.
Holy crap. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
And 2 of the secret bosses are apparently the hardest in any Souls game they've done.
See, here's the thing, and actually I'll read another set of tweets that actually outlines the importance of utilizing the English language properly. I'm not to say that I'm any expert when it comes to like talking or writing or anything like that. Like I'm far from it, but at the same time, I've worked in enough professional settings where using English as your means of written communication is super goddamn important.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like responsible for literally hundreds of millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I was, no exaggeration. Yeah. But with that being said, that's where like you using certain words, using certain sentences comes into play.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm just gonna, I'll just post a little picture there. It says, this, however, feels like difficulty for difficulty's sake.
Yeah.
Turned up to 11, perhaps because with the added expectation of a DLC having something extra absurd to conquer, even though it technically doesn't require finishing the core game. I go through dozens of deaths over a period of several days, and despite taking breaks to go off and do other things, we've talked about that too, and explore other areas, I realize that I just don't want to do this anymore. Here's the thing. Is like, I get that. I understand that feeling. Mm-hmm. That feeling is just that. It's only a reflection. It's not retrospect, it's straight up a reflection. Yes. A reflection is completely based on feeling and emotion, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you're someone who is reviewing games or is writing, or as soon as you put any kind of statistic or rating system on a game, you're essentially reviewing it, no matter how you scrape it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yep.
With that being said, if you're reviewing it, you should be reviewing it in a retrospective manner, because it's more based on analysis and verifiable information, mm-hmm. right? And so if you're not analyzing it to be like, okay, the mechanics are like this, because it's a Souls game, like whatever, like, are the controls tight? Are there any differences between my experience in Elden Ring versus its DLC? Because that can happen. Yeah. It's like those kind of things. Like, that's a technical analysis, right? But those are the things that make up the core of a game review. Mm-hmm. It's like, for me, and I'm sure you feel this way as well, no matter how good a game looks, if it plays remotely shitty, it's a shit game.
Like Knack, the PS4 launch game, looked so next gen. 5 out of 10. Doesn't matter.
Graphical fidelity doesn't mean absolutely jack shit if the gameplay.
Art direction's more important. Graphics.
Actually, that's very well put.
Aesthetics, everything like that.
Very, very well put. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Right.
And if the gameplay is shit in any kind of way, automatically that's like half the score. If the gameplay is shit, that's like
most of the score.
That's like 6 points gone. Yeah. Like, in terms, if you wanted to rate something out of 10 and start weighing every individual element, which you can't really do because every game is so different mm-hmm. in every way that you can't really do a static weight rating system that way.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, you can do that when you're comparing 1-to-1, in this case, the core game to its DLC. Mm-hmm. You can do it when you're doing like direct comparisons. I understand that, but when you're doing it in comparisons to like other games, other genre, other stuff, you can't really do that. But in this instance here, if you rated, let's say, the gameplay for the core Elden Ring as like 8 out of 10, right? You now have a baseline to rate the DLC that it is built literally on.
Yes.
But that gameplay could end up being shitty for whatever reason that may happen.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, that gameplay rating goes from an 8 down to like a 6 or a 5.
Yeah.
Which then brings down the overall rating from like the core being 8 down to or 9 rather. Yeah. I'm going to say it'll go a little higher. A 9 down to, let's say, even a 7.5 because the DLC is shitty.
Yeah.
But it takes nothing away from the core game.
No.
And so when you're looking at it from like that lens, that's when you're getting into like, you have to remove emotion out of analysis.
Yeah. And what if it's not your type of game? Are the people that are reviewing the games into, like, if you were reviewing Dr. Mario, you're not the person I'd want to review it if you were my employee, right? They wouldn't want me to do Mech Warrior. You know what I mean? Like, they should be a fan of the genre. Are they always? I don't know.
Fuck no. Like, so one of the things that's been really contentious, and you see it, and you see drama around it from time to time if you're on social media enough, is and game, not only game journalists but game developers as well are equally guilty for just simply not playing video games. Like not like straight up not playing video games. Like I'm not talking like being a sweaty gamer where you're doing it for 10, 12 hours a day, every day, hardcore, balls to the walls. You don't beat Elden Ring. You are trash at everything. Kind of like none of that kind of stuff. Like, no. It's like the term like gamer is stupid loose. Very, very loose.
Yeah, a quarter of the world plays a form.
But I've seen instances of people talking about, I'm not gonna name any videos or whatever, but let's just say that you've seen more than a couple of times where very, very high-end developers that are well known in the industry turn around and say, no, there's been instances I've worked with people that do not play games at all.
Had they ever, or did they used to and then quit? A mix?
I have no, I see. I suck when it comes to regurgitating information,
right?
Like that I see one for one, but I generally take like small tidbits away that I kind of hang on to, but because I can never name exact instances that a lot of these videos point out, but I would have to go through like my video history and then be like, hey, this guy said this. But anyways, apparently it's like a fairly chronic problem, and it's very evident when you're getting into certain games and certain genres where it just doesn't even feel like a game at all. It doesn't even feel like it was made by someone who has any experience outside of a mobile like UI.
Yeah. It's just to create. That's what I feel about The Last of Us. You know, the gameplay, like they release this story. I always go to The Last of Us, but when the story's just the strong point and that's it, but the gameplay is very, very 5 out of 10. Shouldn't that lower the overall score and not have Last of Us a 10 out of 10 masterpiece? Just using them as an example.
Yeah. And see, and that's I don't know, that was another thing that actually, I've brought this up, I think a couple of times, where in high school, my art teacher never gave out 100%. He said, you will never get 100% because in art, there is, given 100% equates to perfection. There's no perfection in art. Yeah. And so and video games, for better or worse, are exactly that. They're a piece of art. Mm-hmm. They're interactive art. And with that said, I would never rate anything, a 10, 100%. Those numbers do not exist in like any kind of, in my own perspective, as far as like rating games that I've played throughout my life. Like those numbers do not exist like in any game that I've played, no matter how much I loved them.
Yeah. No, nothing. Even Final Fantasy VII for me. No, even back then, there was points that it's not perfect. Nothing is. No.
I don't believe
anything. Personally, it can be a 10 out of 10 to someone. But
as long as you put a 10 out of 10 effort into developing and making it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I give a shit about. Yeah. It's like if you are passionate about your craft as a developer and all you want to do is just make cool shit, then all I ask as a player is that you put 10 out of 10 effort, even though you know you will not get a 10 out of 10 you will not get 10 out of 10 in the public eye.
But it gets you real close. Look at Baldur's Gate 3. 10 out of 10 effort, 11 out of 10 from them to make everyone happy and updating the game. They've stopped updating, they said now, but that's made with care of games. They play games. Evidently. So they develop them.
Like that's one game, man, I wish it wasn't turn-based because but that's a game I could easily hang out in a living room, have a couple of beers and bullshit and be a spectator. Totally. Like that for me, that's a spectator game.
That's a future thing. Could be Baldur's Gate.
Absolutely. Like one of these days,
if it goes on Steam, I want to play it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Like, no, it is on Steam.
Or sorry, on sale. On sale.
Oh,
sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
$80. No way. I'm becoming a PC master race waiting for sales.
That is a game that's going to be in the exact same realm as Sekiro, and Elden Ring,
Ghost of
Tsushima.
Yeah.
Like those games are going to be like box price for
Forever.
they will probably forever.
Yeah.
Probably forever.
Another argument against digital games only.
Even then, it doesn't matter. They're still going to be box price. Like those games will never go on sale.
No.
And Elden Ring, if Elden Ring does go on sale, and I think it has gone on sale. No, it hasn't.
It did. $64.99 physical.
Dark Souls goes on sale, but the first Dark Souls I got really cheap. The second one I heard was really dog shit and is only worth pennies anyway. So I only got that for like $5, I think, $5-10. But the third one is the one that like refused to go under 20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they never. I don't know. Kingdom Hearts 3 is $80 online.
Oh shit,
$80, and it came out a number of years ago. I was at the pawn shop, King of Trade, and they had Kingdom Hearts 3 $14.99, the physical.
Dude, look at pretty much any Nintendo Switch game that is considered that has a cult following. So literally any Mario game, they're all still retail.
They hold their value, Nintendo games.
Yeah. And see, and I kind of get it. Like, man, it's kind of hard to like put Nintendo in the same not even the same ecosystem, in the console ecosystem, with Xbox and Sony, because they're so much like Apple in terms of trying to segregate themselves out of the market and be their own thing. Yeah. And for the most part, Nintendo's really good at it, and they've done it. And because like there's very little to like hardly any overlap, and like to the point of like being hostile. Like they're a hostile company.
Oh yeah, not for profit, don't care, take it down. Oh, it's free advertising for us. No, they are so protective of their IPs.
Goddamn, Redfall, like that.
There's still a copy sitting at work.
Are you serious? There's still one on the shelf.
$79.99. In a hard case, just sitting there. No one's even stolen it.
No one has even. The stock count was always perfect.
That long.
The stock count has never been wrong on it.
No,
that is not even worth stealing. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but yeah, Redfall.
Apparently, Microsoft is issuing refunds following Arcane Austin's closure. Apparently, obviously they closed.
They made.
Yeah, Arcane Austin is the developer that made it.
They should absolutely give refunds. People paid full price to get the deluxe edition, which came with the DLC when they released it. There's no DLC coming.
Yeah, they canceled that.
Everybody should get a refund. Yeah, everybody.
This article is on IGN. Yeah, I'm just like,
it can't be that many people to refund.
Well, you have to. Here's the thing: is that in business, when I went to college, they covered this, where there's essentially an equation as to how many people will actually pull the trigger on a refund, or
right,
where some people will be like, it's not worth the effort. I can't remember the hell.
Like those emails, you're entitled from this lawsuit, and you'll get $50 or something.
Well,
right?
Not to the level of it being like a straight up scam, because that sounds scammy. But you know what I mean? Like if you're entitled. Like for actually a really good example is callback for warranty stuff on cars, for example.
Yeah.
How many people, even though it's a free service, would actually go out of their way and actually like do that?
Well, I mean, a car, if it's a safety thing, depending what it is.
Oh yeah, depending what it is. But like I can definitely say there's been a couple of times where I got that little notice being like, hey, recall notice on this. And I'd be like, I can't be fucking bothered. This thing's only worth like $500-600.
Screw up their insurance too. Like if you got in an accident, and they
absolutely.
Right.
Oh, if the insurance company
not be good,
dug deep and be like, hey, what kind of recall is on this? Oh, is this
because a recall would come up. So they'd probably find out. They would.
Yeah, I don't know the internals but anyways, ultimately you're just banking on that your insurance broker is dumb and just pushes it through as fast and hard as possible just to get it done and over with, and just to bump an increase in your premiums and call it good.
Yeah,
like that's the best case scenario in that case. But if you get into an accident, especially if the accident was caused of that. Geez, of that recall.
Go to jail.
Oh man, you could get charged negligence, straight up.
Like that's
yeah, especially if
imagine hurting someone, killed someone.
Oh yeah, then you're going
run over a kid.
Oh yeah, that's manslaughter. That's negligent manslaughter, straight up.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the law would be around that, but yeah, that's negligent.
You'd be in trouble.
But
the NVIDIA is the richest company in the world now, $3 trillion.
It's funny because Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA are literally going to be swapping places.
Yes. It's all they're the top.
That's crazy because I actually did the math when I was like, because when I heard that broke, I'm like, all right, cool. As a close of business, whatever that date was, what's their market value, and tally up the top three, and it cracks over $10 trillion fucking dollars.
Disgusting.
All three of them crack 10 trillion fucking dollars. Dude, that's 12
astronomical.
No, that's 13 zeros, man.
Yeah.
That's 13 fucking zeros.
That's a lot of billions. For 1 trillion is 1,000 billions.
Is fucked up.
1 billion's fucked.
1 billion is fucked up.
You seen that grain of rice comparison?
Yeah, dude, I love the grain of rice.
Now think of 10 trillion. It's like on those, like it's like seeing space things where they show the Earth and then they keep going out and it's bigger.
Keeps like going backwards. And stuff. I love those videos. I love those clips. They're so good. But
that's what it's like. That's insane. That's a disgusting amount of money. And they're putting dragons around the Empire State Building, a big blow up dragon, 150 feet or something on the Empire State Building to advertise House of the Dragon. Imagine being a homeless person walking by, nowhere to live, nothing. That would not feel very good.
What's crazy too is like, imagine, oh man. And like, this is where, imagine if you end up like homeless and you're completely disconnected from culture entirely.
Yes, just like those tribes that.
And then that pops up in the fucking sky.
Yes.
For what appears to be for no fucking reason. Like out of nowhere, just a big inflatable dragon shows up on Empire. Like Jesus, especially if you like unfortunately have like mental health problems and whatnot,
or a drug problem or both.
Yeah, and then that happens. Like Jesus Christ, man!
It would be like having a drone show of a dragon over a tribe who's never seen people in their life. They think they're the only people. Imagine a QR code in the sky. Oh, new mobile game. They have no idea. That's the heavens.
Yeah, to be
crazy.
To be that isolated tribe and to see like a drone show above your head. Like,
what'd you do? What would they do?
First off, I hope that doesn't ever fucking happen because like those people need to be left the fuck alone. But but
the gross side of me would want to see that.
There's
like watching a train wreck, you'd kind of want to watch. That's always been a weird fascination that I've always noticed in people. Fascinating, yeah.
Is like people's like desire or people's entertainment in reactions. Mm-hmm. Because ultimately that's what we'd be doing is like,
well, and that's a huge reaction. Like that's one you'd never see. That's an experience.
Yeah, to see someone to witness someone react to something completely unknown, something like that. Oh yeah, especially when it completely changes your whole perspective of reality. Yeah, at that moment.
Yeah, there's a tribe they said that's living in their Stone Age still that they found. There's no agriculture. They're just using. Imagine they're
that the same tribe that killed that Christian dude that tried to.
No, because that one knows that the outside world's there. That one's. India? Is it in India that happened? But yeah, this one is different. They weren't, because these guys had bows.
Yeah, these guys did too. Like these guys.
No, I mean your guys that you mean, because these guys don't even have. They have like stone tools.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, they're that far.
They don't farm. Like they're apparently really far back, unless I had a fever dream. But yeah, so imagine
Stone Age. Oh yeah.
Imagine giving them a McDonald's.
First off, they would look at you and be like, what the fuck are you wearing?
What are you?
What are you? Oh yeah, you'd be an alien to them.
Yeah, literally. You're from another world.
Like alien as in like not as in
Extraterrestrial, but
oh, you would be damn near extraterrestrial to him.
yeah.
And you'd be like, well, it's no different than how humans perceive like your gray aliens or whatever. They're still humanoid in nature in terms of like 2 arms, 2 legs, torso, head.
This is going to sound very Joe Rogan, but sci-fi, I mean, but who knows, is if there was another advanced form of human right now who hasn't, they're just humans living in a different, like these tribes are, but we're the tribe to just another form of human that's just been around longer. So
Like
who knows, right? Like we could be the Neanderthals to them.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know,
if
it's possible.
If there's like an offshoot human-like species,
Yeah.
that's like a couple thousand years ahead, that has like the equivalent of the human cranium in terms of being able to process data.
Yes.
If there was something like that and they were a couple thousand years ahead, one, they would be terrifying. Like they'd be straight up fucking terrifying.
It's scarier if there are aliens and the you know, all the flying stuff. I think it'd be scarier if they were a branch off of human than it would be if they were from another planet. I think it's scarier if they're from Earth and they're just like thousands of years ahead of us, like you said. Would that be scarier in a way?
Let's just say like mathematically, because like I think Neil deGrasse Tyson had a video where he did where there's the math of like the chances of another civilization existing on another planet or whatever. And just because of like the freak show nature of like all of the elements working to make life sustainable on this planet, apparently is like fairly uncommon. There's like a mathematical number that they calculated is how many are inhabitable essentially by humans whenever they say inhabitable. But imagine if the way in which the human genome, the human seed essentially got planted into Earth was like off of like, let's say, I'm just going to say like off of a meteorite that had like ice that had bacteria that eventually grew into us. Right.
Yeah.
And let's just say that got pummeled in space, shot off, and somehow miraculously both those meteors landed or ended up in a spot that's able to be inhabitable, that would eventually be Earth. But the same thing happened, but in another universe or another galaxy or whatever. And they just happen to have developed a couple thousand years sooner because their planet might be bigger, smaller, might have developed faster, and so was able to sustain life quicker than Earth, but they are still essentially human. Yeah. But they just happen to evolve quicker.
It'd be a good sci-fi. Like, what if we found humans, skeletons on Mars?
That's always, I'm pretty sure that's the thing. In terms of like sci-fi writing, oh yeah.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
But imagine if that really happened, if we found skeletons on Mars. What? Funny. Holy shit.
Well, there's like,
we wouldn't know why.
It's always been proven that like there's been like water oceans and stuff like that. Imagine coming across a fucking, what would be a primitive sub.
Yeah.
In the desert
of Mars. Underground or something, you know?
Yeah, you just happen like enough wind erosion uncovers like what looks like is a primitive submarine that was in the lake.
Yeah,
Earth be fucking trippy.
Earth is our second planet. We originated from Mars.
We're all like Martian descendants.
Yeah, we're all Martian descendants. That's the original Earth. That's what happens. Capitalism hit them first.
Oh, that's another game I was dabbling in. Speaking of Mars, I've been screwing around in Doom. Doom 20, was it 16? 2014? 14?
Wasn't there? There was one in 2020 because it came out the same time as Animal Crossing during COVID. I think it was just called Doom.
Yeah, there was Doom Eternal, and now we're gonna have Doom Dark Ages.
Yeah.
So I've been dicking around on the first Doom of the trilogy.
Yeah.
And like I haven't sunk like hours into it. I literally just beat like the first 2 missions, like really half-assed to kind of get a feel for it, because I never played those all the way through. Because after seeing the trailer for Dark Ages, I'm just like, God damn, I might have to play that. And so dabble in Doom.
When's that out? The third.
Oh shit, I can't remember.
This year before it's delayed.
It up.
And what's it called? Doom.
Dark Ages.
Doom Dark Ages. I remember the trailer was pretty cool though, that we watched after.
Well, sometime in 2025, sometime next year.
Okay. In November.
Yeah, it says no defined date or month has been shared, so sometime in 2025. Yeah.
2025 will be a big year. Especially if they just announce the Switch.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, you're going to love this too. Speaking of like Elden Ring stuff, apparently the Elden Ring manga is going to be on hiatus. So that way
I saw that.
So they can play, so the manga writers can play the damn game, can play was it Erd Tree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so that way they can go and play Erd Tree. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly the kind of shit you want to hear.
A workplace that cares about that's really nice to do.
More of that shit needs to fucking happen.
Yes. That's the evolution of the pizza party.
That's what we're talking about when it comes to actually like putting your passion in your craft as one. Like your passion in your craft, in my opinion, when it comes to doing essentially like lifelong career stuff, like you have to be passionate about the shit that you do and you have to be involved in the shit that you do. So like that's why as developers, in my opinion, it's super goddamn important that you play games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a simple thing.
You'd think it was so simple, but man, like, my God, like what pisses me off, and Blizzard is fucking guilty of this, and I don't care if any of them say this to my face. There has been times where I'm balls deep in WoW, and I'm like, there is no possible way these assholes played this and said, I like this.
No, they're just churning out just to get it out.
Like, I swear a lot of them, like Shadowlands, Jesus Christ, there's so many examples of shit, of times where I'm like playing Shadowlands and I'm like, there's no way these developers have actually like sunk in the hours like I have in any way, shape, and form and said, this is good. Because no.
Probably kids working on it that weren't even born when it came out.
Yeah, there's been a lot of times where like I've like straight up been like, you guys do not even play your own game. Holy shit, what is this? Yeah. I've had a lot of those moments in Shadowlands. I hate that fucking expansion.
Ever since Blizzard was bought out, they went to shit.
Not really. It's like,
but imagine them in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Here's what's crazy is like, as far as like
the
game
HBO of games.
As far as like game quality is concerned, they've always been like, it hasn't really changed all too much, and it has like slipped as a result of like a lot of corporatization of how they fund their games. And what's crazy is like, man, have you actually like saw what their stock price was from the time
Blizzard's
Blizzard's or Blizzard Activision's from the time of acquisition to the time that they sold? That number is fucking huge.
Oh yeah.
It was one of those, like, as an investor, like that was like a baller company to invest in.
Regardless, jackpot.
Regardless of like the quality of games. And so that's where I have a lot of cynicism towards the corporatization like that of games, because from an investor standpoint, amazing. AAA, absolutely,
business,
whatever. But there's always that misconception that the value of the stock also translates to the value and quality of the games. And that is so not fucking true.
No, it is not true at all. In fact, the more money pumped in, a lot of the time, the gameplay suffers. They're not made with love. They're just, I don't know, content. Just games. It's so competitive. There's always something new coming out. Used to be at Christmas time, new games would come out. It's such a fast thing now. It's easy to get a job in.
Bellular just had a video released the other day where essentially, like, Ubisoft, good example, is like they're a very, very large company in terms of like market value and all that, but their quality of their products has been like subpar at best.
Yeah, it's waning.
This is more of like tech stuff more than anything, but allegedly some hackers have claimed to have carried off an enormous data heist on AMD, selling info on employees and customer information, future products, and specs. Allegedly.
Those allegations come from somewhere.
Here's the thing
that's
is that
pretty
and this is also
bad.
another one of those instances where like I will always judge a company based on how
They
handle shit like
Yes.
this.
That's a big PR thing.
And this is one of those
Oh
instances
my.
like where, and I'm not going to speak to being like, I'm no cybersecurity expert by any stretch. Like went to school, took a few ended up taking a couple of classes as passively as a result of taking IT stuff. You kind of learn that, coupled with like just self-taught shit, which is like not very much.
Yeah.
But this is one of those instances where it's like in my experience and just overall research over the years, one of the things that's really important when it comes to cybersecurity is that you, and also just talking with friends who are in the industry, you don't want to tip your hand because you don't want your fix to be reverse engineered and patched. Like you have to be so stealthy. You have to be like James Bond level of like sneakiness when it comes to doing cybersecurity, because you can't tip your hand at all.
Yeah.
So like, even though their hackers are claiming this, there's a possibility that AMD could have been like covering it up. Like you have to like let your shareholders know like what's kind of going on.
Yes.
But you have to like keep everything under wraps publicly to be like as to what your counter, how you're countering it is. You have to keep that all under fucking wraps. And a lot of the times you won't even hear a public acknowledgement until like months later.
Yeah.
Like where it's like something didn't happen like 6 or 7 months. Then you're hearing a public announcement. Oh yeah, back in January, we got nabbed and whatever. If there's extenuating circumstances where if there's information involved where you have to like let the affected parties all know and whatnot. And so it'll probably end up coming out as a result of that. Yeah. But as far as like what's being done, that is never fucking tipped.
What if it's true?
If it's true, that's gonna be crazy.
It could be.
If it's crazy to this extent,
that's big.
Especially AMD, because I love AMD. I'll fucking say that I'm kind of an AMD fanboy, even though I don't ever want to. I don't like being brand loyalist, and AMD is one of those companies where it's like it's a biopoly. When it's a biopoly between like Intel and AMD in terms of processors and in terms of computing home computer processors, it's like I always just go with whatever's more economical. Yeah, and just AMD just always ends up being more economical. That's the only reason why I'm like always like 100% AMD on all my systems. It's just because they're just more economical every time. Yeah. Anyways, for budget builds, anyways. Emphasize as soon as you're getting into like your really, really high end stuff, then certain Intels, but not right now because they're also under fire because one of their processors is currently melting. Melting is an exaggerated term, but it's not going well.
Pulling an Xbox 360 at launch.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Red rings of death everywhere.
Oh, Paragon, the Moba made by Epic. Kind of cool.
Did you ever play that?
I did.
I know
5 hours maybe.
Man,
I paid to get all the stuff.
Hades is the closest thing to a mobile game I've played. I don't play
Moba, like League of Legends.
Moba. Yeah. I thought you said mobile.
No, Paragon. Yeah, it was a MOBA game.
MOBA games are like another genre that I like never fuck with.
Don't. Like they're the most toxic. They're brutal. They're unhealthy.
It's just not my kind of game. It's just like that stuff. Like regardless of the toxicity or just regardless of the communities that they foster, like just its overall game loop and gameplay is just not mine. It's just not for me.
The fun way to play League is to jump on every couple weeks and do the all random, all mid. You're just in one lane. You just have team fights. Games last 15 minutes. Quick in and out. That's when it's fun. But when you're getting too competitive in it, it's really not a good game at all.
Right now, we're just kind of like in the lead up to the expansion. WoW's next expansion coming out. And it's like there's a lot of shit in like less than 2 months because we still have to get through its pre-patch, which I think drops in like late July. And its pre-patch event normally lasts for about 3 weeks or something like that, which normally is just like cosmetics and story and story beats being pushed forward and stuff like that, and kind of like set up and whatnot. Though the one thing that I will say, as far as like new WoW expansions and everything are concerned, nothing will ever beat a WoW expansion launch.
Remember the Burning Crusade launch? Did you play then?
I did play launch, yes.
We stood outside to get the physical copy. Midnight launch, and there was people. It was so fun. You got a poster.
You know what's fucking crazy is like I ended up buying mine from Future Shop, but I had no issue getting mine. Like no lineup, none of that.
No, it was just to get it early.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like, it wasn't like they had millions of copies they got in. Plus, you could just buy it digitally.
Yeah, I saw my physical copy.
I do too. Yeah, and Wrath.
Yeah,
Cataclysm. I swear Cataclysm has a physical.
Yeah, the wife has.
I think I have.
Yeah, the wife has a physical copy of.
Maybe even Mist.
Yeah, well, technically, if you get the collector's edition, has like all of the physical. I don't think it has physical discs anymore. They stopped with the physical discs
so.
by Cataclysm. I think they might have. But yeah, the wife has her physical copy of like OG WoW. I do too, and BC I do as well. But that's where I stopped. And she has Wrath, because every time I want to open up the closet, I see it. But yeah. Anyways, because like I did the BC launch, that was an experience. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was something.
Then I did Warlords launch. But I did all the launches after. I've done all of the launches
after Mists.
After Mists, because I came into the middle of Mists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like I restarted up my WoW experience from like the first. Essentially, man, I only got like 3 months into BC, and then
Wrath came out.
No, but then I got a different job, and then interest in different games came in, and then started dating girls more often, and ended up having a place of my own, and just never sunk. I just stopped playing just because I had other shit going on.
Remember the walking into Hellfire Peninsula for the first time?
Fuck yeah, I do.
And those big reavers or whatever they're called.
Yep.
God, that was fun. That was one of the most fun I've had in a zone. Like one of the most memorable zones to me.
In WoW. That motherfucker farmed.
Oh yeah, you could see him coming in the distance and hear him. It was so cool.
The man that I remember when everyone blasted through the portal, and you could definitely tell people were like struggling to like stay online and whatnot because the servers were getting dumped. Yeah. But anyways, I remember like seeing the stream of people go through, and that Reaver being in constant combat, constantly, and all you saw was just skeletons.
Yes.
Skeletons everywhere, because that motherfucker was just going to work, because that son of a bitch not only spawned like pretty close, like as soon as you entered, like he was there.
He would make it there.
And he was close to the road.
Yes.
Like normally the road is like the safe path.
Yeah.
It was not the safe path.
Over the roads. He'd go over the paths.
Yeah, but then going that back, launch was so fun. That was so good.
Going back at level 70 and killing them. Fun.
Yeah, I never did that. I only got like 2 months in, and then I was done.
Now you could look at them with your character and they'd die.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, did they update Burning Crusade graphically, or is that the oldest content in the game in a way now? You know what I mean?
Because they essentially because they always do graphical updates to old, like to the world, all the time.
Oh, okay.
And so even like the models on a lot of, like, for example, a lot of the armor is still like OG, right? All of the armor and shit like that is still OG.
Twill. But
yeah, like when it comes to the old shit, I'm not nearly as versed when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, they do update the graphics and like the back end at least a little bit. Like you can still go through like the OG zones, and you can still see the leaves are still like flat and shit. Like,
but that's how it should be. It should look like what it did when
MMO,
it came out.
It's like it's not supposed to be graphically like crazy.
Yeah,
it's like back to like art style over graphical fidelity.
Yes,
WoW has its art style.
Yeah.
Like, and it's well established, has been for damn near 30 years.
But it is at the point now where graphics are starting to creep into play a little bit, which does, if they jumped graphically, they could do so much more gameplay wise too. It'd be so different.
The thing when it comes to like WoW that has always captivated me as far as like from a gameplay perspective is that, and this sounds, man, it sounds so weird because it sounds so basic, but it's so true. When you press a button, it does the thing.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have you have your GCD, but like if latency and all of the stars align, you press button, it does thing, and it's fucking instant. Yeah, it has its animation and whatnot, but it's like
no, the action is immediate.
And it's so hard to describe what I mean by that because it sounds so simple because like, yeah, you press a button and it does a thing. It's like, yeah, but it's like the responsiveness and how snappy it is. It's right. Like, don't get me wrong. As far as like the visual cluster that a lot of the combat has is definitely a problem. It's just like, just pixel diarrhea. But just the
input from the gamer to the game and it does it.
Exactly. Right. And yeah, like visually it has like a lot of problems, even when it comes to like its UI and stuff like that. Yes. But in terms of its combat snappiness, it just like it works.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's a really good example of where the gameplay is really the only thing that's keeping me held on to the game.
Oh yeah.
That is it.
Yeah. It's aging.
It's aging.
Gracefully.
It's aging.
But it's aging.
It's aging for sure.
It's almost time to let it go, Blizzard.
I fucking hate its tab targeting though.
You didn't like it?
I still fucking hate it.
Oh, like do you click?
50-50.
Yeah.
It's like there'll be if I can tap, there's two instances where I'll tab target where I'll trust it that it'll work the way that I want it to, is if there's one to like three mobs and the target is like that I currently have is like the last one that engaged. And I know that my next tab will be the one that's like in front of me. Or if I hit tab while one of the mobs is casting something that I can kick, it'll always snap it to the closest one to me.
Couldn't you do or maybe it's Final Fantasy I'm thinking of, where you click on your tank and hit a button that it snaps and targets to whatever they're targeting?
Oh yeah. Focus target.
How do you do that? Hit F.
Yeah, you can do that. You can macro it all to be automatic, to be like to be a mouse over where you don't even have to click it. Yeah. There's so many, and that's another thing with WoW where it's good and it's bad. It's good in terms of like the amount of range and customization that you get in how you can interact with it, that it goes like mouse over macros, and is just one of those examples where it's native in the game now, but it wasn't for like years up until like the launch of this expansion is when they introduced that. Before you had to use an add-on or you had to use a macro for it. But there's like so many instances of where I have like macros for like so many different things that I would have to like bust open my game and to really remember any of them because they're all like, it's all automatic now. But the downside to having such a range of customability in that game is where you get like fucking add-on bloat, or just having problems with just having to maintain add-ons in general.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't have to.
Like, dude, I am so on the, like, after playing WoW for over like consistently or fairly consistently over the past like decade plus, I can firmly put my foot down, especially as a mythic raider, and say, man, kill all add-ons. It's like bake in the best and most popular ones into the game and kill the rest.
Or pay your modders.
That's what I mean.
It for free.
That's
right?
what I mean. It's like bake in like the best ones natively and pay the developers that do it, like compensate them for the work, because you're literally just integrating it, make it native, and then kill the rest.
You know, it's a different beast, but like old school RuneScape, like other MMOs don't use add-ons to this effect that they're required. right? I mean, mind you, there's end game rating.
Yeah,
They're required in end game rating.
Is a loose term for us because it just curbs the they're just tools that everyone on the team have to be consistent in utilizing the same of. And it's a pain in the ass because if people are using different packs, different like raid packs for visual stuff, and it conflicts when you're doing assignments and stuff like that, it's a total clusterfuck.
Yeah.
And so everyone has to like not only be on the same page in terms of like not fight knowledge, they have to be on the same page in terms of all of the tools that they use. It has to be consistent for all 20 people. Pain.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
And so not needed, but in order to perform in specific teams, in this case guilds, you have to.
You have to.
In this case, that's where the term "you have to" applies.
Yeah. But yeah, for someone like me just playing the game, leveling up and doing whatever, you don't need them.
There's only one asterisk to that, and this is a Blizzard problem. And this is an example of where it should be baked in natively. Is the add-on plater? It's literally their nameplate system. That is the one add-on that I would 100% say to every single new player: do not give a fuck. You install that thing. You install it, because even plater without any customizing right out of the box is 10 times better than the nameplate system that they have native to the game. It's dog shit.
Yeah.
So shit. Hate it.
Is the naming of a new character smarter now? Are they still shitty names when you hit the generate for a new character name?
I have no idea.
I used to always cycle through randomized names. Yeah.
That's a good question, because I haven't made a new character in years. I have no idea what the random
not
generator,
to level or anything.
And they're always offshoots of my main character name anyways.
Right.
This is fucking hilarious. This guy made a touchscreen stereo for his car, or is it for his car? No, he just made touchscreen stereo system with a 7.9-inch LCD screen, and he has a Raspberry Pi in it, and it emulates a fucking Winamp.
Oh my God. That's sweet. I want that.
That's what I said, man. I was just like, yeah, I forgot to show the reaction.
That's cool.
I missed your reaction to it. But yeah, dude is hero.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Touchscreen and everything. And that's what I said too. I'm just like, man, I wish this guy would mass produce this, because I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
A lot of people would.
And I would find a way to stick that in my goddamn car.
Like something you'd buy at a kiosk in the mall. Like people would buy that. I would.
I have to watch the video on how he made it and everything, but based on like just reading how he made it, it's a process, and it would be expensive, because one of the things he has to use is a laser cutter for the metal. So that alone would make it really expensive.
Yeah, that's very
But I
cool,
saw that and I was just like, that is fucking dope.
Yeah, that's very cool.
That's an instance I would buy that just for nostalgia purposes.
To have it out.
Yeah, because like Winamp is still what I use to this day, and it still looks kind of like that.
Yeah.
And like the wife still used Winamp.
Yeah.
Like we just have old cracked versions that.
Yeah, why not? Cool.
Yeah. But like, as far as playing
that's pretty
music,
slick.
Oh yeah, and like it, and she has it set up the same ways as what she had back in like the early 2010s, or not even then, even the early 2000s actually.
Yeah. High school.
Yeah. More significant changes for affixes coming. The only change I want to see to affixes for Mythic Plus is for them to be fucking deleted. All of them. Do something different. Do something new. Fuck affixes. I'm done. I'm over it. They've been in there since fucking Legion. Get rid of them. All of them. Start something different. Do something different. Fuck affixes. Done.
Yeah. Too lazy.
Just fucking done. No, they added 4 shitty ones and kept 3 shitty ones and got rid of 2 good ones.
Yeah, they're done.
I'm like,
what you get?
Fucking done with affix. Like, just delete the whole thing. Start over. Do something different. God damn it, I hate affix. Sorry, I have to go on that rant because that's how much they piss me off.
Yeah.
Like anything about any news when it comes to affixes, if it doesn't say that they're getting rid of the whole system and doing something different, I don't care. It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't even want to like watch that interview because like that's how much I hate Affixes. Just overdone, bored. I'm just done and bored with him.
WoW 2.
At this rate, we have to wait till WoW 2. But
Yeah.
I needed to get had to go on that rant. I know you've heard it a few times already, but like I needed it one more time because god damn it.
No, I know how it is. God, I wish I'd got that gameplay. We'll have to.
I'll help you set that up
Yeah.
and make sure that it's working properly and shit. For sure. If anything, we'll probably make that a weekend project.
Yeah.
I'll pop over when your kids are by and I'll bring my Nerf gun and I'll shoot your kid.
Yeah. You'll be in for it with this game.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the game Getting Over It, where you're the guy in the cauldron and you're the hammer and it's fucking stupid and hard?
Yes. I've seen clips of that game, and that game is immediately one where I'm just like, no, because that is a peripheral destroyer.
This looks it's not frustrating like that, but it's weirder. You should probably just watch the trailer, honestly.
No, I'm just gonna watch you struggle through it live. I'm just gonna watch you just like hammer through. I'm like, nope. Sit me down, show me, let me see what this game is.
We'll watch the trailer as well.
Fuck no.
After.
First I want to see, I'll watch the trailer afterwards, but I want to see you struggle first.
Yeah. It's a beat 'em up.
Even more so.
Mm-hmm.
Even more, all the more reason why I need to see you play it.
No, it's not what you think. Trust me. You're gonna think it's something. So don't peek.
Yeah, one of these days I'll actually have to bring over my Super Nintendo and I'll have to show you some shit.
Or the Super Nintendo Mini that I bought.
Like, I'd bring mine.
Yeah,
because I have it unboxed and everything. It's literally in its own little wicker basket and everything. I just bring that whole thing here.
The old TV, play it on the balcony. Here,
hey.
TV, Super Nintendo patio.
Hey, that might not
record that.
Hey,
there's a fucking idea.
Hey,
right?
That might be a good summer. That might be a good summer
that
project.
was the perfect time. It's dark out at 10.
Yeah, might be a good project.
We'd have to find something without the glare. We'd have to figure out the glare.
Something to think about. I like that. That. I never thought of that. I just have beer, weed, and
Super Nintendo
on the balcony, and just like stick the camera.
Yeah.
Like you literally just have the computer with all the cords just going. Oh wait, all the bugs and shit like that too. Crap.
Has a built-in VHS player, built-in VCR.
Oh, you got one of those? Yeah. Hell yeah.
Or sorry, DVD, so we could throw on Mortal Kombat.
Is it a VHS DVD?
No, it's a DVD. I forgot. Just DVD.
Shit. Because if it was a VHS, I'd be like, dude, I got like a shit ton of VHSs because the wife is sourcing stuff for flipping, and it's like, yeah, dude. It's like I'd bust out some. I think we have Mrs. Doubtfire on VHS.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I'd bust that out.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah,
but yeah, that's something we'll have to sit back and plan.
Yeah, like Helldivers.
Fuck yeah. Oh, it's crazy.
What's the?
His money's tight. $5,000 into the car.
What's another 0.1% of that? Right?
No, I know.
What's that on top of it?
Oh God.
Why not?
I know.
That's still $5,000.
I know. It's like, that's the thing.
Sneak it in.
As much as I want to, it's like the time sink that I'd end up doing as a result of that in the lead up to WoW's expansion. Because here's the thing. Is actually here I did something stupid actually yesterday. I did something yesterday? No. What's today? Thursday? I did something really stupid on Tuesday. Really, really fucking stupid.
In WoW?
No, I installed Diablo 4 on my computer.
Oh, I thought you hated it.
Did hate it.
Is it better now?
No, I started playing.
It'll be good eventually.
See, we're on season 4 right now. And I hadn't played it since I got pissed off and quit while leveling my druid.
Mm-hmm.
And I quit that fucker like on day. The wife pre-purchased it for herself and me when it first was announced. So we got early access and I quit within 10 days. Within 10 days, I was like, fuck this game. This sucks. I'm like, I'm done. It's like, I didn't even try a different class. I was just like, nope, fuck this. Even
bad.
like I just hated it. Right out of the gate, just fucking hated it. And I don't know what it was about it. Like, there's so many things about it that just pissed me off with it. Being off screen in that game is fucking awful.
Yeah.
And that was a bad one. I got off screen like a motherfucker in that game, especially as a druid. Oh my God, I was getting
close quarters druids, air form and
they're
stuff.
all close quarters.
There's like sorceresses and wizards.
The wife is all about like being the spells chucker and whatnot.
Me too.
But this time around, and I was just like, fuck it. I was kind of dabbling like between like 4 different games right now, essentially, right? And like I was dabbling in fucking Hades. Hades, every now and then Fallout 4, Doom, now Diablo, and I just finished the Ascent, like right on the heels of that. And so I said, and I was like, I was thinking to myself, okay, Hades is essentially an ARPG roguelite. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll like, and ARPGs is a genre that I have in terms of like liking. I like the art and stuff like that, but in terms of gameplay, I've always struggled to like it. Never liked the game loop. Never liked. I don't know. There's something about it that I just never really like. That it was never my favorite. Even though I sunk in like a fuck ton of hours in Diablo 3, for example, I sunk in a lot of hours in Diablo 3.
Was fun,
but that was like Reaper Souls. Like I never did that shit launch. Never did any of that shit launch. Fuck that. It wasn't until like a couple of years deep, like season 10, 12.
I bought it on 15. Launch in 2012. Yeah, I did. Physical, broken. Like you couldn't install it. All the issues you had, the real life or the real money auction house. Terrible when it came out. Terrible.
And D4 was like just, well, its connection problems were one thing, but man, it just didn't feel good to play. It's hard to describe, but it just didn't feel good to play.
Right.
So I just had him like, fuck it. Enough time has passed. They're on season 4. Let's see what they've cooked. Let's see how it tastes after 4 seasons of it being cooked and over a year now. So fired it up and made a seasonal rogue and just decided, fuck it. I'm going to go through the campaign because I never completed the campaign. I only got like, I got to like level 50.
Okay.
I got to level 50 on my druid, and that's like about maybe halfway through the campaign. And I said, fuck this. So this time I'm going through the campaign, and over my shoulder, my wife decides, I haven't played any Diablo in a long time. I'm going to play it too. And she hadn't fired up Diablo at all, but she has sunk in a lot of time in Diablo 3. She is very familiar with Diablo mechanics and just ARPGs in general. She plays a sorceress, and she's like, fuck campaign. I just want to just melt shit. And so she had the option to be able to skip the campaign. So she skipped the campaign.
They give you the option.
Yeah. And so she skipped the campaign and started doing all of the other stuff, whatever. She's already like, and she just started leveling yesterday morning. I had 1 day ahead of her, like a full day of gameplay ahead of her. And she was 5 levels ahead of me by the time I got here today. She was already 5 levels ahead.
Wow.
In 1 day, she was 5 levels ahead. I wasn't even going that hard because I'm doing all of the side quests, and I'm like traversing like the map and unlocking, like getting rid of the fog of war and shit like that.
Grinding.
And she's just like getting in there and just grinding and just farming legendaries and shit.
Yeah.
And she's like 5 levels ahead of me. And she's just melting shit. She turned her fucking fire beam into 3 that pronates like that. Yeah. And she's 360 wipe, 360 wipe.
That was the best part of the wizard on 3 that I did. I just the beams, and I would just.
That's all she's doing. Yep.
That's fun. Yeah.
And she's like, she has to unlock torment still. She's going through the throes of unlocking torment because she's like, this is too easy. It's like I like look in their direction and they're deleted, and I'm just like, yeah, that's not me right now because like I'm doing the campaign and I'm locked to tier 2 right now, and everything is like really easy for me, but in terms of like overall power level, like she's 3 times more powerful than I am. Even though she's only 5 levels ahead of me, she's 3 times stronger.
Well, gear, right?
Gear and like and a combination of all of the affixes and stuff like that on them. Yeah, and all the aspects, abilities and shit. Oh yeah, she's just melting shit because she understands the gear. She understands how the stats and how the gearing works in those games.
Yeah, and
she's just kind of like just winning it. But yeah, and she's just flatlining everything.
Yeah, that's what I loved about Diablo 3 was just.
And she's even though she's only gotten like now technically 2 days in, because I'm on day 3, she's technically on day 2. Even though I'm only on day 3 and she's only on day 2 of gameplay, she's already like, okay, get the campaign started so we can play together, so we can meld shit together, because she wants to play with me. But she decided to go one route and I went to the campaign route. I have to complete the campaign first before I can do shit with her, I think. I'm not sure. But anyways, because I can flip it to where I'm in that mode, into the same mode as her, but I can't go back to campaign.
Oh, you quit. Oh,
but I want to get through the campaign.
That's too bad. Well, just let you,
Yeah, I'll let you go back and forth. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think it's just seasonal shit. That's all. But if we both went on like on the Eternal realm, yeah, sure. But if she started a seasonal character like I did, and she skipped the campaign, I don't think she can do content with me. I don't know.
Right.
I haven't tried. Probably because I've just been going through the campaign and she has no interest in that.
I mean, if you have to quit the campaign to play with her, I'm sure it's the same.
She can't go into the campaign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like the side quests and everything are all the same, but I'm like kind of trying to get through the campaign as fast as I can now, as fast as possible now.
You have to do the single player.
But now I'm like, because I want to get into some like hell rifts and stuff like that and melt shit with her.
Yeah.
Because we used to do a lot of that in D3.
Still a druid, or did you play something else?
Oh no, I'll play with my rogue. It would be with this character.
Yeah, I'm playing, as they say in WoW.
Yeah, I'm glad. And the rogue in rogue in this game actually feels really good. I like it. Yeah. It's super good. It's not all like stealthy and sneaky. I went with like a rapid fire flurry combo ability, which is really fucking nice because I just dive into a group and apply vulnerability to one guy, and then smack him with my flurry, which applies it to everyone around me. Oh, and then everything gets subsequently one shot. I literally just dive in and just apply to one, apply to all dead. Like 3 casts. And then if I'm in a single target scenario or whatever, like against a boss, I use rapid fire. It's just all it is, a bow and arrow that you can. It sounds like it would be like an AoE ability. No, it's single target. It shoots like 8 arrows.
Right.
And each arrow does like a shit ton of damage.
Yeah.
And so every time I apply vulnerability onto them, and the very next ability is rapid fire until my energy level gets depleted, and you just see that health bar.
Yeah.
Really, it's really
satisfying. Yeah.
But like the wife is just like literally just looking at him, melt, done.
Yeah.
Too easy for her now. Now she's wanting to get the difficulty like way high, but she has to unlock it first.
Yeah. The grind is the game.
For her is just like she's wanted to play something to distract her, and she's like, oh my god, she's like, oh, something's actually interesting that's kind of distracting me. It's actually
Diablo
working.
3 is perfect for that. I've gone back to 3 every so often. Just to kill some time, kill stuff. Yeah.
And it's like now with the accessibility of it being able to be played on console now too.
Yeah, it works great on PS3, Diablo 3, or PS4.
Yeah, even D4 as well. Apparently it works like fairly well.
Yeah.
But like I know like D4 right now is literally a meme, because like D4 bad is literally a meme.
Yeah.
And I'm just like kind of seeing how it's worked so far, but it's like so far it's all right. It's not bad. It's holding my attention better this time around than it did on launch.
Yeah.
So I guess it's improved.
Yeah, it'll be good eventually.
Just because I don't particularly like ARPGs outright, where it's like, oh, ARPG, fuck yeah, I'm gonna definitely play it. Doesn't automatically mean that it's bad, just because ARPGs are not really my style of gameplay. Like action, like the more action games, open world games, like your God of War, for example, Horizon, like those games are like, those are like way more my jam. That's why Elden Ring is like definitely my kind of game.
Yeah.
Eventually, just not right now. It's because I want to, like, when I go to play Elden Ring, I'm going to play it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to sink an ungodly amount of time and effort into it without looking shit up.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people struggle with. They even said the guy that their games, they want to rely on people having to look at guides less. They said they could do a better job at making that accessibility portion of it better.
If I can play a game without the need to like look shit up, it's automatically a great game. Like, for example, like Armored Core. Like, this is what was really important about playing Armored Core right out of the fucking gate, is that there was nothing. You couldn't find nothing about it, which is like eventually after like the first day or two, sure. But when you're playing it right out of the gate and then you commit yourself to like just play it without looking anything up, it's way easier to do on launch. And I'm so glad I stuck with that. And I played all throughout Armored Core without any kind of reliance. And it was like, it was such a satisfying experience.
Yeah.
And it was even more so because I didn't have any kind of reliance on any kind of back end. You can technically force yourself to play like that with every game and not look anything up. But you have to admit, every now and then, there's just sometimes you're just like,
and your time is valuable.
You're just like, what the fuck?
You know, I don't want to spend 10 hours to not figure something out when I could just, like, time's precious.
Same when it comes to like running into like bugs and shit like that. Because you don't know if what you're looking at is in fact is a fucking bug or if it was intended.
Yeah.
So a good example of that, and this is what kind of really miffed me, and I heard it happened earlier it happened last night before I went to bed and figured it out this morning. One of the strongholds near the right around mid campaign, I can't remember exactly which one, has a bug where if you collapse a structure with one of the elites in it that you have to kill, that's part of the fill the bar thing, that if you destroy it before the elite comes out, he gets trapped in there and you can't complete it. So what you have to do is you have to abandon it, reset it, and to have it reset, come back in and re-clear. Wasted your fucking time.
Yeah.
And go to find, and so I'm just like, okay, what the hell happened? So I found the exact instance of people running into that problem. I think it was on Reddit I always like find some more consistent stuff on Reddit and find the exact instance of people running into the same thing on Reddit and go to find out. And I'm looking at posts that are like 8, 9, 10 months old. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You're telling me like that this has been something that's been around since damn near launch and it's still happening on season 4?
Yeah.
Like 4? And it still happens? Because I ran into it.
Yeah.
Sure as shit. Go out, do some other stuff, come back in. And this time I just read the posts and did exactly what they said. And they said, yeah, just wait for the elites to come to you and wait for them to actually come down from the ladder, come out of the building, all that shit. Have them come to you in the open first, then kill them. Like, don't kill them before they're out of a structure. Pull them out into the open.
That's so dumb.
And I'm just like, crazy that people figured that out, but holy shit, the fact that I had to, and sure as shit, made sure that and I saw the mob that they were talking about, because that was the one that wasn't spawning, because I recognized, I'm like, yeah, I killed that one. Yeah, I killed all these guys. But then I saw the one that they were talking about where one wouldn't come down a ladder, and I'm like, that's the one. And sure as shit, he came out into the open, came down, spawned, waited for him to actually attack me a couple of times to make sure that we're good. All right, killed, filled the meter, done.
Yeah.
But the fact that it still happened,
that's pretty bad.
That annoys me. It's like, again, problems will happen, issues will happen all the time. But the fact that it's over a year and it's like, and it was a decent sized threat. I'm like,
yeah, they'd see it.
Regardless of whether they see that post or not, like, I guarantee you enough people ran into it where it would have been flagged as a bug by someone.
Yes. Yeah, you'd think maybe they did get it and they just don't.
Because like even people replying were like, yeah, run into the same thing. Yeah. And this is what we think what it is and what the fix is. And they had wasn't just one fix. There's like 4 or 5 solutions that people have said, yeah, this all works. But you had to like work around it if you ran into it, which was very likely, especially if you're like just mass killing things and like you're supposed to go into a map and wipe it as fast as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no excuse. At that point.
Yeah, at the beginning I can get it. After the first season 1, season 2, okay, sure. Season 3 and 4, come on. All that shit should be like ironed out by now.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
Even I get from time to time weird collisions with my mount going over terrain, where a random pixel, what would otherwise be like a rock or whatever, just stops me dead. Just like that's happened to me a couple of times where I'm just like my horse would just go and just stop, and I'm like
a pallet jack hitting a pebble.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Actually, pallet jack hitting like a staple. Yeah, that's it. Immediately that wheel is coming to a dead stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every now and then that will happen in this game, and I heard that they've made fixes in that regard because it was really bad at the start. But every now and then I come across it, but so whatever. But it's apparent it's not nearly as bad as it was at the beginning.
Still.
No. Well. Anyways, we're about an hour and 40 minutes in. You think that's good?
That's pretty good.
That's good. All right, cool. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. So I guess this was
episode 5.
Episode 5.
5.
Yeah, episode 5. CBGB.
Did we say 5 last week?
We said 4, maybe 5, because we didn't know what we were doing with that other footage. We just scrapped it. Said fuck it. So
episode 5.
This is episode 5. The one that we were editing last week. Which like I do have it up. I just don't have. I have a chapter and noted or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't have the thumbnail made just yet because it has that creepy fucker.
Yeah.
In it.
Episode 5.
So this is
question mark.
Yeah, this one here is definitely 5. Yeah. So I'll get this
last week's 5 question mark.
Yeah, this one. Oh no, the name of the episode for last week was "Can't Sleep, Clown Will Eat Me."
Nice. Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah. All right, we'll do this one's episode 5, and that's my dude, Bubba Zoom.
Bubba Zoom.
Comes at this, and we'll see you guys all next week. Like, subscribe, comment below. We'll see you later.
Game recommendations.
Oh yeah, game recommendations, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, this is us just banting. But yeah, we'll try and do that gameplay on the balcony. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it would.
All right. Cheers. Out.
Bye.